I'm Britt Morin, and welcome to night number 3 of Create Good, live from the Build Studios here in New York City. We had another fantastic night last night with Create Good Art, including amazing conversations with the Art Ho Collective, Insta-famous poet Yrsa Daley Ward, and some of the most notorious women in design. If you missed it, you can go watch last night's show at brit.co/creategood. Tonight is Hustle Night, where we are all about the ladies getting out there, flaunting their stuff, whether it's their side hustle, their main hustle, or braving the unknown to start their own business. Tonight, we want you to be inspired to make some serious boss lady moves. Every woman we're talking to tonight is incredibly motivating to me as an entrepreneur, and we hope they'll encourage you as you get your hustle on. And just a reminder, if you're watching the live stream at home or if you're here in the studio with us, just use the hashtag CreateGood on all of your social posts and tell us what you're loving about the show. Now, before we get started, I want to do some thank yous tonight. First, thank you to our Hustle Night sponsor, Allstate, who's here to spread the word. Thank you. About their Hidden World of Data digital safety initiative. They're all about managing your digital footprint, which is something all of us need to know as ladies these days. So let's kick things off with one of the biggest hustlers in the world of interior design. She's an incredible businesswoman who has appeared in more than 20 shows around the world and has built her own lifestyle brand. Now she's showing property owners how to transform their short-term rentals from drab to fab in the Netflix series called Stay Here. Take a look.
This is the quintessential American experience.
No pressure, just make it perfect. Today is the big day.
You ready?
Yes.
We're ready. Ta-da! Oh my God.
Jen hit a home run here.
Oh God.
Oh my God.
It's beyond what I would have imagined. We are forever grateful.
I would stay here.
Me too.
Travel, design, experience, profit.
Stay here.
Please welcome Genevieve Gorder. Hello.
Hi, Neva.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm so good.
I can't believe we haven't met before.
We're meant to destined to meet. Like, we were ready to meet tonight.
Well.
And you brought the sparkle.
And I'm on the Hustle show. I didn't know that until like 10 minutes ago. I was, yes.
You are hustling, lady.
I think we're born that way.
You were hustling since you were little, right?
Yeah, firstborn, couldn't wait to get out 3
Really?
weeks early. Yeah.
Tell us actually about that. You didn't start as an interior designer, right?
I did not. Originally, I thought I was going to go into international relations. At 17, I was like, I'm going to be a diplomat. I'm going to go into the foreign service.
At 17?
Yeah, and I spoke a lot of languages. And so I went to like 3 classes in that major and quickly found design just accidentally. I grew up renovating homes in Minneapolis with my family.
For fun, or like they were flippers?
It was pre-flip. We lived in them.
Is that an era?
Yes.
Okay. Are we in it still?
It wasn't even called, no one did that. Everyone lived in their house for 30 years back then. So we would buy old Victorians in Minneapolis where there's an incredible architectural stock. Everything's built to withstand 120 degrees of temperature, so they're awesome, and Scandinavian. And everything was cheap in the city. These are the days that everyone in Detroit moved to the suburbs, or Minneapolis, or Milwaukee, Chicago, same movement. But all this city stock was the best. I don't know what people were thinking. Why go live in a tract home?
The real estate.
When you could go live in an American Foursquare.
So your parents were buying real estate?
They were 20 and 24. We didn't have any money, so they could afford these homes because no one was buying them. So we would then teach ourselves.
Did they do it too?
Yeah, we were a team. We were a construction team.
That's a show right there, I think.
I inhaled so much varnish remover. I don't know how.
Now I understand you so much more.
That's so weird.
Yeah, a little bit. Just kidding.
So I switched to design after one graphic class. It was like, I knew what I was going to do for the rest of my life.
Really?
I didn't grow up with designers around me.
Did you feel something in you? Like, what was it? Because I think a lot of women try to find that moment. They're like, I'm not sure what I love. What is my passion? How do I know if I found it?
I think there's a sense of intuition that you have to embrace, and a lot of people can't do that till they're much older and they start to trust their gut. I have trusted my gut since I was 5. So I don't know why. Maybe I'm just that soul, and maybe this is one of my later lifetimes, I don't know. But it was a moment where I came from a big musical family. I really realized that the designer was the conductor. of the orchestra. And I pull on the illustrator, or I pull on the upholsterer, or I pull on it's your turn now. And I thought, I can do this. I could always draw, I was always very creative, but I didn't see myself as the fine artist, but the conductor I got. And so I became a designer that day.
So you started on Trading Spaces when you were 24, is that right?
Yeah, I moved here, I went to School of Visual Arts, and I worked at MTV full-time. I went to school full-time.
MTV, like in the good days?
When there was music.
TRL style?
When we made really cool stuff.
Right.
Can I swear on this show?
Yeah, always, yeah.
Okay, we made such cool shit.
We love it.
I was living the most glamorous,
Did you know
poor life. Yeah, I knew everybody. Naughty by Nature, Tribe Called Quest, everything. And it was amazing. And I came from Prince, land. So music was like my first language.
And so how did Trading Spaces happen?
So then I finished design school. I had studied in Amsterdam for a while. I came back, I was 23. I designed the Tanqueray 10 bottle, which... The gin bottle?
You were like, I can now drink, so of course I'm going to design a gin bottle.
And what 22-year-old likes gin? Nobody. What girl at that age is like, give me some gin?
I was drinking like cheap vodka. I don't know.
So I was like, well, I think this looks good. I designed it to look like a man with a tapered waist, facets. I took off all the junk. I really just really repaired it graphically. Wow. And it was like this crazy design nerdy award winner because it was 2000 and it was millennial amazing thing. So there was a lot of press for our industry. Who would ever look at that? Nobody. But the people casting for Trading Spaces were looking for design award winners.
Of gin bottles, and that was you.
Everything. Like Hildy had designed some award-winning window treatment. Frank had done like a needlepoint pattern. And so we all got called in, over 5,000 of us, and they chose 6. So there we went.
That's amazing.
But Trading Spaces, and I was doing interiors within my company too. Trading Spaces reminded me of what I did as a kid. It made it approachable. It was super affordable. I don't have to sit because I am fire. I just like to move.
You can't sit. Yeah.
I'm just
you
so
can't
excited.
do a desk job.
No.
I mean, you have to though.
And
now
I
as
was
a
sitting in a
business owner,
studio like this, and I thought, oh, I could teach kids about what we do, what design is. My mom thought I had crayons at work. She had no idea what I did until I was on TV.
She was like your inspiration though. She taught you as a little girl.
Yeah.
So you've designed for some pretty amazing people.
Yeah.
I have heard and seen that you designed maybe for the Obamas.
Yeah, I know those guys.
Same, don't we all? What was that experience like?
First of all, how lucky was I to be a part of that administration?
What did you just tell us what you designed?
So HGTV had, I went from TLC to HGTV, and HGTV had this holiday, Christmas at the White House. That was one of their programs. And so everyone hopes they get asked to do that show, because basically, I'm not making everything.
Right.
I'm hosting and helping style and working with the designers. And so I got asked the first year, 2008, and I mean, I had to go through so many background checks. It was kind of surreal. I was like, I just paint walls,
to be the host
but I'm
of the
gonna
show.
go do this. And so I got there, and I just kept getting asked back. So the entire Obama administration, I was working on their holiday design, and we designed ornaments for the family.
Was Michelle very critical? Did she like some things over others, or was everything good?
They are like the neighbor you always wish you had.
Nice.
There's nothing Stepford about it, and it felt like you've known them forever, the way they talk to anybody.
Are you on email relationship status with them now?
Texting,
text style?
just talking about Christmas balls. No. But the staff is really a family friend.
That's
so I am still friends with the Secret Service and their social secretaries. I don't know. We had my whole blocked off when they were fundraising for the last campaign.
Yeah.
And for some reason, a house across the street was being used as the event space.
Yep.
Whole block blocked off by Secret Service. And I was like, what's going on? Because of course no one tells you Obama's coming across your street. So it'd be dangerous. So I walk up to some gated tent, and they were like, what's your name? What's your business on this block? And I was like, I live here. And he looks up, he's like, Jen, hey! I was like, hey, Tony! And he walked me home.
Oh my God, of course. That's so normal. You're very normal.
I don't know.
I love it.
I think this was predestined a little bit.
So there was a big transformative moment for you when you moved on from TLC and then HGTV, and then you focused on your own brand. What inspired you to do that?
Listen, before I went to television, I was working in a design studio that was paralleled with an advertising agency. So I was in the world of branding from the time, from 22 to 24. I knew it very well. I knew how to design for brands. I knew how to build brands at a really young age. This is before everyone had a brand when they are 10 now.
Well, everyone has like a blog.
I mean,
and an
everyone's
Instagram
a brand.
So everyone's a brand.
What I learned throughout that process and then through the many years of my life doing television, because I never considered myself a brand. I was a lifestyle person, but I didn't think of myself as a brand. You have to earn it. You aren't a brand because you say you are.
What makes you earn it, though?
You're not a designer because you like it.
People qualify you as that?
You have to know what you're talking about.
You have to be an expert.
Yeah, and you have to be good at it and done your time to be a brand that people, for lifestyle, you need a little bit of an older voice. I came in really young. No one wants to hear what a 24-year-old has to say about running your family.
I had the same thing.
How do you design your kitchen? Like,
Right.
I don't even have a kitchen.
You're like, in my bathroom, that's this size. Like, yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
not saying that you can't have a brand when you're young, but I do think just the accomplishment and the time spent and the experience in that industry really does count for something. The moment I stopped with HGTV, after, I don't know, 9 years, I really realized where I had been the last 15. And it was that moment where I stopped, because I said, remember, I can't stop. I'm just fire. I'm excited about everything. But I had to press pause, and that's when I realized that I had become one. And when I could look back at everything that had happened and actually take the time to realize what it had done for a number of people, for a number of little kids, for a number of new designers, new generations of designers. Grace Bonney, who you had here yesterday.
Last night. Check out the live stream.
Yeah, she said she got into design because of me. And that was like, it was so rewarding. And we so rarely, I think as women specifically, pause to take in the reward. We're hustling.
Go.
Climb. Do better than everyone. Don't look down.
I never want
Help
positive
everyone.
feedback. I
Here's
only
a
want
bottle.
critical feedback. I'm like, tell me what I did wrong tonight. Tell me I can make it better. I'll do it good next time.
Are
I
you
promise.
happy?
Yeah.
Do you need some soup?
No one ever. Yeah, I'm like, don't tell me that. No, that's too nice. Yeah. Do you have people like that in your life? Who are your mentors? Who are your inspirations, your creative muses, your support networks?
So many. I mean, it starts when you're a kid. I think, what my family did was huge inspiration. It was part of the muse of how I got to hear because it was already a language in my head without knowing it, without them knowing it. My grandfather, the Croatian sensation.
Did he call himself that?
Oh, yeah.
Is he still around?
Oh, yeah. He's 97.
The Croatian
last week.
sensation. We should have had him here with you.
He was all about connectivity to nature, and how that comes into everything you see, do, and talk, and knowing that language, which is a really big deal for me.
Yeah.
And my grandma, of course. But then going forward, I would say I came from all these giant rockets where the chemistry was right at the right time. So the bombs were going off and we were launching off into the right planet, whether it was MTV. And it was like that perfect time when we were doing things great.
Yep.
And then I got to the design studio that I've loved and adored for years and years. And it had all the best of that 2-year moment. I happened to pop in. I was the worst. I was the youngest, I was learning from all
You're
these
the
greats.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I got to Trading Spaces, and you start a movement, and you don't know it.
Yeah.
And then at HG, I get to flex every muscle I've ever had in my life, and now Netflix. So I can't say that I knew any of this was going to happen, but intuitively I knew when it was time to go to the next.
That's interesting. And what about your online business? What are some of the challenges that you face now in the digital world?
It's consistently being caught up so that you stay relevant with that side of your business. To not use it as a tool is silly. And I know a lot of my coworkers have felt that for many years, and now they have to catch up. I use it as a place for deep, deep authenticity, which is the opposite of what IG and Facebook usually is for the majority.
Through your own online website and everything like that? Or like which channels are
Mostly
more authentic?
Instagram is, I think for the creatives, that's our first resource and the most powerful voice. Beyond TV, you want to show that you have a brain, that you can speak well, that maybe you play classical violin for 20 years, or you can cook, that you're a mom. All the other parts of you that aren't on stage but make you the stage person, I think are really interesting pieces. The struggle, too. It's not perfect. And it's good to relate to people in that way.
Do you find that you get treated as if you are talent and not a business owner? Sometimes I get that, too. Like, No, I'm actually the CEO of a company, and I happen to sometimes be on camera.
No, I'm a major baller, is what you're saying.
No, I'm just saying that I think you get stereotyped when you're on TV, that you don't
As a
have a
woman,
brain.
yeah.
You know, as a woman. I feel like men get treated as if they're so clever, they can run this company and do this TV thing.
It's not so much, are you dingbat? It's, they're always surprised when you can speak without script. Like I had, it was a woman actually who asked me, well, how do you know what to say when there's no script? I was like, I'm a designer. I was schooled.
Yeah.
I have 25 years of experience. The doubt is real around TV, especially because people think you're all actors.
Right.
I just am a designer who happens to be on TV. Design is all I do. Lifestyle's all I do.
Did you have to learn anything to be on camera that was surprising to you in the early years?
Sure, I laughed so much. I laugh a lot, but it's on TV and it's edited. It's like, I was like, I hate me.
Now I'm like afraid to laugh because I'm like, what if I laugh? I'm like,
well, it's like I don't even know half the time that I do it because I'm having a good time, or I don't think I do it when I'm nervous. Maybe I do. You notice all the flaws about you.
Do you rewatch everything?
I did in the beginning.
Really?
And now I'm like, I sometimes don't watch the show I made at all.
Okay, but speaking of, you just launched your new show.
That one I watched.
You watched that one?
Yes.
A new Netflix show called Stay Here. Has anyone seen it? Yes.
Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about that. I've obviously watched it all.
I feel like design television, since I was kind of in the first layer of it, hasn't really evolved a lot since we started doing it. It's really that template of, will they like it? Do we have enough time? Do we have enough money? And they come home, oh my God. And I love that, but that's just one basic entry into the world of interiors. We've educated over 2 generations of designers that are now working. So what are we giving them? There's Pinterest now. I was operating off of MapQuest and a handwritten list when I started doing this. And
magazine tear-outs and things like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Drawings.
Yeah.
And now everyone thinks they're a designer and they have their Pinterest board and it needs to be like this.
Do you feel like it's competitive because of that? Like, is it more saturated? Or is
if
it
you're good
to
at what you
stand out?
do, I feel like all of these tools can enhance the experience and progress the language. If people don't know how to say what they like or to show you a visual that they like, it's more work for us. So it's actually helped a lot. That's been a huge change. What was the question again?
I forgot. Now I'm just thinking about your laugh. I'm just thinking about your laugh. I'm like thinking about my laugh. I don't know. But in the world of design, though, you've seen a lot of good things and bad things. What are the design mistakes that a lot of people make? Because I feel like everyone designs their home or their apartment or their bedroom. What are some tips you can give people to make it look a little bit better?
You need to stop thinking with this and start thinking with this. How we feel space is not with our brain. It's purely emotional. The color takes you back to where you're from, or it's a color that makes you angry. Very psychological. Lead with that. Don't try and match. It's not about matching.
It's not about matching? Can you mismatch?
It's about complementing.
Complementing.
The tall, skinny thing needs the short, fat thing. The black needs the white. The masculine needs the feminine. So a feminine pattern has curve, and then the masculine pattern has straight geometry. Together, layered, they're perfect.
Kind of awesome.
It always works.
I learned how to pattern clash my outfits earlier this year, and I feel like a new woman now.
That's
like,
called transitional style.
Yes, exactly. That's what I was calling it the whole time. But like polka dots and stripes. Anyways,
plaid and floral. What?
I'm so crazy. I'm so crazy.
No, it really is the hardest part of design for most people is the layering of pattern, even for designers. Designers' mistake is making it inapproachable and too expensive.
Yes,
creativity and cleverness are free.
Yeah, you can go to the flea market and make something. See, that's where I come into play with the DIY stuff.
Yes. Girl, I know some DIY.
You've been working a little bit with Allstate too. Can you tell us a little bit about that work?
I select partners very carefully because I do believe it has to be natural and an authentic message when we do work together, and it's how we all work. It's our livelihood.
Yeah, people can call it out if it's not authentic.
Absolutely. Like, this makes sense. I partnered with Allstate because what they're focusing on right now is just bringing awareness to our digital footprint, and whether that's in your home and your security system and your appliances.
Because we're all getting hacked all the time.
We're leaving that digital trail. There is a memory of everything we do and everything we buy and everywhere we go with our digital footprint. So it's bringing awareness to everybody that it's something to pay a little bit more attention to, just like your finances. If you're just like, I don't care, I'm making money at my work, and you don't realize that your bank account is negative, you have to keep in touch with this aspect of life. So Allstate is raising are partnering with me to kind of bring awareness to how we can be better and safer within the digital aspects of our life. So after this, I'm working with a team of kids upstairs, and we are. I don't know where are you guys? Where are you guys? Are you here?
They're out there.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, okay. And they're going to grill me on the safety net of my digital footprint. We're going to try and find all the holes.
Do you do two-factor authentication and all this stuff?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I've done it. I know what she's talking about. However, like the first ring password stuff. How many of you remember all your passwords? How many of you have the same password for everything?
Right. Yeah.
So these kids are 10 to 13, and they're going to be like ninjing the tech to death. On my head, which is really exciting.
I'm definitely going to come watch that.
I'm ready to look like a fool.
Amazing.
And for all of your tech needs and questions that are personal to you, you can go to our website, which we're going to list for you, and you can get all the information you want.
And before we wrap up, I think, this is Hustle Night. This is about, this new generation of women and even some young girls that want to grow up and aspire to be their own business owner, their side hustle, dream of theirs. What is the biggest piece of advice you can give them on following that dream and chasing their passion?
I mean, however cliche this sounds, follow the gut. And it's listen harder so that you can do more. I think often we just talk ourselves out of doing 90% of the things that we innately should be doing. We overthink. Again, it's about leading with that.
You knew from 5 years old, you said.
I did.
That's amazing. Thank you so much, Genevieve.
Thank you.
Give her a round of applause. For those of you in the studio, there is a quiz upstairs that you can submit to the Allstate table and actually win a bunch of goodies for that. And for those of you at home, head to Allstate's hiddenworldofdata.com to learn more. Up next, we're going from interior design to fashion design. Cool. Stacey Vendette's business has grown into one of the most successful fashion brands of all time. It's called Alice & Olivia. Take a look at her fall 2018 collection. Please welcome the CEO and creative director of Alice & Olivia, Stacey Vendette. Hello. Hi. Looking fabulous as always.
Thank you.
No one ever compares. I'm your #1 fan. I hope you do. I'm wearing it all tonight as well.
You look adorable.
It's the Red Power outfit, right?
They told me you were wearing red, so I tried to coordinate, without being too matchy.
Yeah, our photos will be great. You started out in a really interesting way, and now you have over 800 stores worldwide. Is that right?
Well, we have over 38 of our own stores, and then we sell at 800 other stores.
Yeah,
so.
But it started with a pair of pants.
Started with a pair of pants.
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
I was actually building websites when I first graduated from college, and at the time I was building sites in Flash. And one of the companies I was working for was like in the garment district, and the owners were kind of like in and out and not around that much. And one day I walked by this store that had like all these crazy striped upholstery fabrics, and I bought a bunch of them, and I was like, oh, maybe I'll like make curtains. And then I was in the office where I was building sites for this. It was a garment industry company, and I asked one of the pattern makers like if they could help me turn the fabrics into pants. And so she showed me how to do the pattern, and she said, these are too thick, you're never gonna be able to make them. And I was like, well, let's just try it.
Yeah.
And that's kind of been my philosophy, I think, throughout my history in business, is not like why can't we do something, but how can we do it? So I made those first striped pants. And
were they amazing? Did they work?
They only fit me, But I thought they were amazing. And yeah, they were really cool because at the time you had this like proliferation of denim. You had like Earl and Seven and everyone was wearing jeans, but there really weren't any pants, you know?
Yeah.
You either were wearing like a work trouser or a jean. And I was like, I just thought there was this opportunity to, create something more sort of fun and exciting for a girl's wardrobe for like the pant girl. I was always a pant girl.
Yeah.
Even though I'm in like a full dress.
I know, you're like Mrs. Dress to me, but look at me, I got the pants. So how did that pair of pants transition into Alice and Olivia?
Well, so I made the first pants and everywhere I went, like my friends would be like, oh my God, what are those? What are they? And I was like, I made them. And people wanted the pants. And shortly after, another friend of mine was doing these events at the Russian Tea Room at the time. And he said, will you put a fashion show on with some of those pants that you're making? And so I had been building a website for a florist, and I was like, I don't make tops. I was like, but I bet my little like flower friends over there will like make some bouquets. And I made like 20 different pairs in all different fabrics, and did this runway show with like all friends of mine wearing the pants and carrying flowers. And
wait, did they have tops on?
Nope,
then?
just the flowers.
Oh my gosh!
So I, it was a little like scandalous back in 2002. I was, and so someone from Barney's came to the show. Actually, our friend Allie Pincus, it was her sister, was working at Barney's and came to and I didn't know either of them at that time, but came to the show and said, Barney's wants to order these.
And you were like, I don't even have a team?
No, but I was kind of at the time like, oh, cool, yeah, I'll figure that out. I can make these.
And so you hired people to help make those?
Yeah, then I had to go kind of backwards and figure out, kind of how to actually produce the pants and use a fit model that wasn't myself. And, and I did it.
But it all worked and they were happy?
I figured it out. That was like in October, and then I shipped my first orders in like the beginning of 2002.
I don't know if you saw on Instagram, but last week I did a sewing challenge and I made my own skirt out of upholstery fabric.
Amazing.
Too.
I didn't see it, but that is fun.
People on Instagram were like, that's pretty cool. So now I'm thinking like in 16 years, I could have a fashion line.
I mean,
is that true?
Yeah,
Fair?
You could do it. I think so.
Okay. I don't think I'm going to do that, but thank you. You also made your own bar mitzvah dress when you were 13, so you had a little experience.
Yeah, I designed it. I didn't sew it, but I was always like making things, whether it was for my Barbies or for my poor cat.
For your cat?
Yeah, my cat.
What did you make for your cat?
My grandmother helped me knit the cat some like sweaters. But I liked
wish we had photos right now.
I liked making things, and I still love making things. And I think that's one of the things that sort of excites me and drives me every day is, like just making new things and making beautiful things.
Is it always fashion, or do you venture outside of that?
I mean, well, I love interior design. I love all sorts of product design. But anytime there's something like tangible that you can, be like, wow, we just made that. That's, kind of, I think where my passion is. So.
You have such a specific aesthetic. So, like, is your house multicolored patterns everywhere, or is it more like white and clean because you have all your patterns on you?
I tend to move a lot, so every time I move, I really believe in sort of playing into the authenticity of a space. Like my office is like crazy and like all like kind of chaos, and I'm always changing wall colors and changing sofas and changing whatever. But our home is a little bit of like our family hybrid, because I like it to feel like all of us. If it were up to me, it'd probably be like crazy pink rainbows and like all kinds of stuff. But it's really a mix of, I think, my 3 daughters, my husband, and myself. So there are parts of it that are like really fun and crazy, and then parts of it that are like, got a little bit of that brown, wood, and blue for the, one token male in our home.
Yeah, I'm the opposite. I have only men in my home, so
they probably let you do whatever you want.
I just throw the color everywhere.
Yeah.
No, we had a marital fight about the color brown.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't believe in brown.
Yeah. And my husband's pretty much, if it's wood, brown, or blue, like that's his approval process.
I was like, that's not possible. Sorry.
I was really jealous one time because a friend of mine's husband was colorblind and her whole house was pink. And I was like, how did you get him to let you do that? And she was like, he's colorblind.
1 in 5 men are colorblind.
Yeah, my dad's colorblind. I buy him the best like sweaters and shoes. He wears all of it. I buy it for my husband. He's like, are you kidding me? My dad's walking around in like purple sweater with like a pink shirt underneath and like orange shoes.
And he's
like,
probably
so
like
cool.
the chicest man in the room.
So cute.
Right? I have 2 little boys who can't decide what their room looks like yet, so they're both multicolored. But you have 3 girls. Do they have strong design opinions already? Do they take after mom?
Yeah, but they're all so different.
Really?
So yeah, my middle daughter has like the coolest style. Like she will be up here one day as like a stylist or artist or something. I mean, she's like the kid that I don't even have to like, you know, she puts on like, she like found in Chinatown like a little chinois dress and was like wearing it with like Doc Marten boots and a flower crown. Like she's so cool. My oldest, I think, pretty much decided that Wednesday Addams was her style icon.
Oh my God.
I was like, is this like a young
Like she
tween
only wears
rebellion?
black?
Black, white, or gray. And if it's like a pinafore, that works for her.
Oh my God.
I know, I'm like, are you sure you're mine? But she's got, like, she's cool.
Yeah.
It's just like very, I mean, like, I'm like, look at my closet. And like, there she is in like black leggings, white top, hair slicked back, and like pigtails. Yeah, so that's Wednesday. And then the little one is, she's like wild and like pretty much only likes to wear sequin ballerina costumes right now. So we'll see where that goes.
Ugh, I need a girl. We'll trade at some point.
No, I'm so happy with 3 girls.
Dang it, the boys are a lot. Okay, but you've had some amazing people wear your clothes over the years. Any favorites of yours?
Well, I mean, I think the moment when Michelle Obama, like, sort of, she wore this, like, full Alice
With the
Olivia outfit,
Obamas
and
tonight, people.
She wore it, like, 3 times. But the first time,
yeah.
I was pregnant with Athena, and I was at, in Miami, I think Jungle Island, with the lemurs. Like, I had, like, a lemur, like, on my head, and my phone was, like, going crazy, and I'm like, what is this? And there's, like, monkeys, like, jumping on my head, and I, like, looked down, and I, like, screamed, because I was so excited. You know, obviously, you know, having the First Lady wear your clothes is
You didn't know that, though? I feel like there's, like, a phone call that's like, excuse me, Stacey, Michelle would like to wear your clothes tonight.
I mean, I was at Jungle Island, so maybe I missed it, but, like, I didn't know until I saw the photo.
And she looked amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. How has social media played a role in growing your company? You started this brand when the internet was pretty young.
Yeah.
And now it's a lot more mature.
I mean, social media has been amazing. I mean, it's given every brand this incredible way to speak and interact with your customer, to learn about your customer, to, you know, share your own stories. You know, it used to be that, you know, if you made something, you were like, oh, it's got to be in Vogue or Us Weekly or whatever. But now you're like, hey, I can share this with the world all by myself, which is pretty amazing. And I always thought the same thing about, like, retail stores. Like, the first time I opened my first retail store, I was like, wow, I have this, like, new way to, like, reach a customer and speak to a customer and interact with her. And social media is the same way. You know, but it's changing all the time. Like, when I first started using Instagram, I was like, oh, this is, like, a really cool way to let people, like, look inside the world of Alice and Olivia and my life. But how it's evolved now with, like, stories and TV and, you know, the main feed has become so much more specific. I almost am like, no, that's like my art gallery now. Like, that's, like, so curated. And then we use stories to kind of show everything that's kind of going on at our office and new things we're doing. And I haven't really figured out the, like, long form TV
You're
yet.
behind that account, right? Like,
I
that's
am the
your
account. Yeah.
I don't
like,
think people realize this because a lot of brands and designers have, like, their social teams running everything.
No,
but it's you.
I told you I had, like, hernia surgery last week, and everyone's like, have you been, like, not on social media? Like, where's your, like, why haven't you posted on Instagram? I was like, well, I've been taking a few days for myself. So yeah, it really is me, and I think that now with all the shopping components and stuff to Instagram, like, we're kind of expanding the team a little bit to fulfill some of the business needs. But I mean, to me, I think social media is one of the most incredible things that's happened to fashion.
You have over 400 employees?
No, I have over 900
female employees.
Oh yeah, I thought you meant followers. I was like, a few more than 400.
You're like, I've got like 800 million followers. Sorry,
I have about 400 female employees. So.
And how many employees total?
Like 405. I mean, it's like almost all women.
Was that deliberate?
I think it's just, you know, I've got a female president and I'm a woman and all our sales, you know, it's like we're women designing clothes and selling clothes, like, by women for women. So I don't know if it's been, like, deliberate, and it's not like, oh, we're not going to hire this person because they're a male. And there are some men in, like, you know, certain departments, but I think, like, you know, one of the things that's always shocking to me is when you look at a lot of the clothing brands that are for women, they're not really being designed by women. So, like, in my office, like, we're constantly trying everything on, seeing how it fits, seeing who likes what. Like, like, you know, it's like we are our market. And so I think it's just been like an organic, you know, sort of process. And also I always feel like, you know, women are just great multitaskers and just.
They're really good employees, I know.
Are there
Most
like any men here? I mean, yeah,
there's
like,
one. Yeah.
So, you know, that's just how the company's evolved.
Yeah.
But we're not like, oh, we're not hiring men.
Right,
But
we're not discriminatory.
We're just a very like,
It's like the
know,
opposite
sort
of Me Too.
But I know I'm gonna be like the first to get like reverse Me Too. But
I know.
No, we really just have like an amazing culture of like strong, ambitious, you know, incredibly hardworking women, which I'm really proud of.
How have you seen fashion change over the time you've been doing this? And has the internet played a role? Has like, you know, the political nature of society, like I know everyone's all about body image, body positivity. Like, has that impacted you?
Yeah, I mean, certain things have changed. Like, my first pant fits were all about like slimming the leg, and now everyone wants like their butt to look rounder, you know? So that was like a change for me from a design perspective when I'm fitting, like, you know, where the seam is placed. Like, girls used to always want it, like, we used to put it like, you know, a little bit further back, and it would make your butt look smaller, and now they want their butts to look bigger, which,
they want their butts to look bigger?
A lot of girls want their butts to look bigger and
Raise
rounder
your hand
now.
if you want your butt to look bigger.
But I think like...
Nope, no one
yeah,
here.
I don't know, it's a thing. But my, you know, sort of what I always stick to is that I want to make a woman look and feel her best. And the way I fit clothes is, you know, there's certain trends sometimes where if like I don't believe that that's really like flattering for a woman, I try not to really go that route. But I guess the biggest change has been, I think, really having a lot to do with social media, in that there used to be like, you know, a magazine, and it would be like, these are the trends this year. But now every brand has the ability to kind of share and express its own trends. And so you see so many trends happening. You know, it's like, maybe it's leopard, but it's also neon, but it's also wearing like, you know, multi-print patterns. And, you know, so I think that trends have become like, they're just more, but
there's
they
like
also,
a metabolism for trends that's faster.
It's faster.
You cycle
a much
through the
yes,
trends.
I like that term, like a faster trend metabolism. Like they happen very quickly.
Right.
And I feel like it's the same with like news, right?
Yeah.
Like news happens very quickly. Like something's really important.
Like Lady
for, like,
Gaga
4
got
minutes.
engaged yesterday, but now we're on to like the new type of pasta sauce.
If
that
you
was
missed
just
it, you're done.
Yeah, exactly. I have to ask about your eyeshadow.
Oh, yeah.
It's such a signature look. Was this like something you did your whole life?
Yeah, since I was literally, I think, 12.
Really?
I started wearing black eyeliner.
Every
much
day?
to the dismay of my parents.
Is that?
No.
That's shadow though, right?
Yeah, it's like a smudge pot. It doesn't really move. But I have to say, during the day, I wear no makeup at all. So it's either none or like my black eye, or I have my red lip. So I have 3 looks.
Are you gonna rock that
them.
your like 95 Iris Apfel style?
I think so.
Really?
Yeah.
So amazing.
But then I have my no makeup look, which is more like my yoga look.
Yeah.
So like that's
You're
my day
super
look.
into yoga.
I'm really into yoga.
Is that what you do? You know, you're a busy person. You're running this huge company. Is that the escape for you?
Yeah, that's my hour to myself, where everyone knows to kind of leave me alone, let me have that time. I've been practicing Ashtanga for. Sorry, I'm gonna take this off.
It's warm. Yeah, it's okay. Now I can see the rest of the dress.
Oh, I think I'm all hooked in. Just kidding. We're gonna place it. I've been practicing Ashtanga for over 15 years with Eddie Stern. I kind of went there as like a crazy kid. I met him at a party, and he was like, "Oh, you should try my yoga class. It's at like 6 a.m." And I was like, "Sure." So I was like out till 2 and like strolled in at 6. And I went every day after that. I got, you know, it just it changed me.
Yeah.
And I think it wasn't like a conscious, you know, kind of like, oh, I'm gonna all of a sudden become this like spiritual yogi. But I think at that time in my life, I had, you know, started Alice and Olivia. My life was kind of crazy. And it really just helped balance me. You know, it was like that 1 hour of the day that I wasn't thinking about work. I wasn't thinking about whatever else was going on in my life. And I always say that Ashtanga is sort of like yoga for type A people, because it's your own practice. It's an individual practice. It's Mysore. And you have to learn each series pose by pose. And you have to like perfect each pose before the teacher gives you the next one. So, you know,
you can do this girl. I'm telling you, if you follow her on Instagram, she's doing like the headstands, the crows, like all the yoga animals, the monkeys. I don't know what they all are, but like You are amazing at yoga.
Like when I do something, I usually am sort of all in. So it was either like
clearly, we get that. Thank you.
So like that was like yoga for a while was like my secret life, and then like people in the yoga world would be like, oh my God, no, she's like 4th series Ashtanga, and they were like, no, that's like the clothing designer.
Wait, can we expect an Alice and Olivia yoga collection ever in our future?
You know, every once in a while I'll do something. Like when I did a Basquiat collection a few years ago, we did like yoga pants, but I think like that market is pretty full. And I usually, when I start something new for Alice and Olivia, I really look at like what I feel like is missing from a woman's closet. Like when I started our gown collection, I really looked at it from the perspective of, I saw my friends who, you know, didn't work in fashion, couldn't borrow clothes all the time, and would have these events, and they were like, okay, there's this option that like kind of looks like a bridesmaid dress, or I'm spending $5,000 on a dress that I don't have. And they were like, Stacey, can't you make some of your dresses longer? And I was like, I think I need to create like a contemporary gown collection. So like every time I've started something, there's been, I felt like a void or a need for it. I feel like there's a lot of yoga clothes out there.
Just recently though, like 2 years ago, that wasn't the case. I don't know, just metabolism.
Yeah.
Who knows, maybe in a couple of years. Lastly, you know, this is all about hustle. What is your biggest advice for these young women who are trying to grow their careers or maybe start something new?
Just to go for it. I look back and I remember my dad saying to me at one point, I don't know if you're fearless and brilliant or crazy. And I don't know, maybe it was a little of both, but I think that, you know, anytime a woman has an idea and really has a passion, I think you've got to give it a chance. You've got to try it. You've got to go for it. And, you know, the best advice I give to people is like, if you can take something you love and turn it into your career, you're going to be successful no matter what.
I agree. I agree. Stop being so fearful, ladies. All right, thank you so much, Stacey. I really appreciate you being here. I'm such a fan. Up next, our VP of Editorial, Annette, sits down with one of the funniest women on the planet.
I think I'm like trailing.
By Stacey. Phoebe Robinson. Here's a clip from her HBO special, 2 Dope Queens. Take a look.
I now get why Beyonce's always flipping her blonde hair. I'm always just like,
do you feel good with the blonde?
Give me a macchiato. Like the girls are out. Like Solange, Beyonce, Mary J. Blige. I'm 33. I want to lie down. I want to lie down. I am the Rosa Parks of this bedroom. I'm not getting up for any. Not getting up for any white man.
Bring her into this.
I'm not getting up for any white man. The 2 Dope Queens.
Yes. 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 Well, the theme of the night is hustle, and Phoebe Robinson is the perfect example of a woman with incredible hustle times a million. First off, she's not just a woman in comedy, she's a Black woman in comedy, which pretty much makes it harder, 10 times harder to hustle. She's got a hip podcast called 2 Dope Queens. I bet a few people love that. It's also an HBO special, just renewed. Woo! She also has her own podcast, So Many White Guys, and that's like so many guys, because there are. And she's written for one of my favorite shows, Portlandia. She's also consulted on one of my absolute favorite shows, Broad City. She's written 2 hilarious books, You Can't Touch My Hair, and her new book that just came out, Everything is Trash, but It's Okay. You all have to go out and buy it at home. Please welcome the funniest hustler ever, Phoebe Robinson.
Thank you. Thanks so much.
Woo! All right, first off, this book is hilarious.
Thank you.
It basically sort of follows your path to multimedia stardom, I would say.
Yeah.
So how long have you had this incredible dream to be this hustle queen? And like, what's that? Have you been nurturing this dream since you were a wee little babe?
I think it was always a writer as a kid. Like I write stories and stuff. And so I think no one in my family is surprised I'm a writer. But like, I think I wanted to be a performer, but I never wanted to admit it. I was like too afraid, and I was like, I didn't go to acting school. I just like didn't know where my place was.
Right.
So I think it wasn't until I moved to New York and I was studying film and I did improv on campus where I was like, oh, like I'm funny, I could be on stage, and that's when sort of the ideas kicked in my head.
Wow.
Yeah.
you write in the book about being a workaholic, which is something I can deeply identify with, and I bet some of these ladies here can too. But you also write about how you sort of came out the other side. Like you found some zen, you like realized I've got to chill and get sanity, and that's so great. So my question though is being a workaholic though the sort of secret to being successful? Or do you think that, you know, hey, there's a line where you gotta chill and maybe we can all learn from that?
Well, I will say I'm still working on the not being a workaholic. It's an everyday
You were doing
struggle.
a major book tour,
yeah.
so I would...
This is like the example of like me doing too much. But I think, yeah, for sure, just like having all the jobs where there's like doing stand-up and blogging for other people and auditioning and acting in web series, like it definitely got me to this point. And, you know, Jess and I worked super hard on Two Dope Queens, and I like put all my energy into my book. So I do definitely think that if you want to have the kind of success you dream of, you do really have to like give all of yourself to the process, which is kind of like, holy crap, but
That's
also
no
it's worth it. Yeah, it's worth it. Yeah.
So how do we sort of learn from you?
Oh,
like to sort of like find that chill.
I think the biggest thing for me is like, as I wrote in the book, I got to a place where I was like, I was just only concerned with like crossing off stuff on my to-do list, and I wasn't actually enjoying what I was doing. And I was like, well, this is stupid. You know what I mean? Like, why am I, like, why am I running around and traveling and working in comedy, doing a job that's supposed to bring people joy, and I'm sitting here being like, oh, I'm not doing this no more. Like, I just didn't feel like that didn't make sense to me. So I was just kind of like, let me like go back to like hanging out with my family, spending time with my boyfriend, like seeing my friends. Like there are some friends I didn't see for like a couple of years. I'm like, I'm too busy. And it's just like, life is short.
Love it.
And I'm never gonna look back, you know, when I'm like 95 and be like, man, I wish I worked more. I'm never gonna feel that way. So, yeah.
Okay, so I am personally a fan of the social meds. Social media. That Phoebe, I don't know if any of you follow her on Instagram, but I'm obsessed. I love all the exploits of the Bake Off.
Yes.
The British Bake Off. And your modeling career, which is like a new thing.
Okay, so it's one campaign for Nordstrom.
It's and pretty great, though.
I had 3 poses. It was very like, I'm like season 1 America's Next Top Model, but yes.
We were rooting for you. But so how important is social media to the hustle? I mean, do you feel like that's like, you gotta like bring it there and like nail it?
Yeah, I think so much of my comedy is based on my personality and my opinions on things. And so once I was not hugely into Instagram until I was getting ready to publish my first book, and my publisher was like, you need to have like a social media presence. And I'm like, but I don't want to do that. And they were like, do you want people to buy your book? And I was like, cool, I gotta pay rent. So I was like, let me get into Instagram. And I started really having fun with it and like doing fun videos. And like now I have an assistant, her name is Mai, and I just like sort of like stage mom her and stalk her.
Yes.
And she like kind of hates it, but also kind of loves it, you know? And so I really find the joy in it. And I also feel like I've been really grateful to kind of use my platform to talk about charity stuff, whether it's like Red and One or like political stuff that's going on right now, because everything is so sort of...
everything's trash?
Yeah, everything's trashy right now. So yeah, it's been good.
That's awesome. By the way, I had a fangirl moment backstage because I saw Mai, and I'm like, Mai.
You know, I wish she would come out here, but she's gonna say no.
I know, she's gonna say no. Well, we know that the book is called Everything's Trash, but some of the most fun moments in the book are when you talk about the things that are not trash in your life, like when you met Bono a few times, and when you learned to swim with Julia Roberts. What?
I know, that was crazy.
Crazy.
Yeah.
And then you had a brush with Oprah. So you got to read the book, guys. It's so good. Have you had any really awesome non-trash moments? Because you wrote this book a while ago.
Yeah, so I will say I have one very practical one. Like, I just moved into a new apartment, and for the first time in my adult life, I have a washer dryer. And it is so nice not have to like freaking schlep my stuff like 3 blocks to go wash my dirty underwear. Like I would just buy more underwear because I'm like, I don't want to walk to clean this.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's a great practical one. And
so
then,
adult.
Yeah, it was like really cool. And then my birthday was last month, so I went to Copenhagen with my boyfriend to see U2, obviously, as I'm gonna.
Must.
And British Bake Off and Bono met, and they had like this really like sweet moment together. And I could tell like Bon Bon like blessed our relationship, which I
like,
felt
okay, you can have it.
Exactly. So I was like, okay, we're solid.
He's like gonna give you away at your wedding.
I would love that. My dad's like, what about me? I'm like, sorry, Dad, it's gonna be Bono giving me away.
Bon Bon. All right, let's get a little serious. You have a great chapter in the book about feminism. We were really rooting for you, like that. You know,
the Tyra Banks.
I was rooting for you. And you speak a lot about, you know, how we got to bring it as women. We've had a lot of challenging moments recently, Kavanaugh, who, you know, with women's issues. Tell me, like, what do you think young women should really be doing more of to really bring it during all these fires?
Yeah, I think right now is a really critical time for feminism to really sort of be intersectional. Like, they've been saying it a lot, but I'm like, we have to follow through on it.
Yeah.
And so I would say to all young feminists, like, I am trying to educate myself as much as possible. Yeah. I'm trying to make sure I'm not speaking for other people, and like, if I want to talk about something like on my podcast, So Many White Guys, I had Buck Angel on, who's a trans man, and it was really great to have a conversation with him and have him like share his experiences and his stories, as opposed to me being like, well, I'm going to say everything about trans issues. Like, it's not my place, but rather I have the privilege of giving that platform to someone else. And so I think that's a good way we can all sort of educate ourselves and also like connect. And because once you talk to someone, it's kind of hard to not see their humanity. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're teaching though.
Yeah.
You're like bringing the truth. All right, now we're gonna have a little fun. So this book is called Everything's Trash. I wanna do a lightning round of what is trash and not trash. Okay? All right, let's start with Spanx.
Okay, you know what? It's not trash. I wore it on Colbert so I could look cute for Zaddy, so I'm all for it. Yeah.
I'm all about them Spanx.
Yeah, you gotta wear it.
Gotta wear it. Okay, ATVs, something you have a history with.
I did it for the first time last year, and I had a lot of fun. I was on first gear, and I went about 5 miles per hour. There was no danger, but I was like, this is pretty cool. So I'm gonna say not trash.
Not trash. Woo! All right, Tinder.
Oh, definite trash. That is like the foundation of trash, yeah.
Oh my God.
Terrible.
Terrible, like the worst interactions. All right, few Scandal fans in the house.
Yeah.
President Fitz.
You know, here's the thing. Even though in the beginning he was cheating on his wife, so that's automatically trash, I do feel like the first couple of seasons he was not trash. He was just like wanting to be with the love of his life. Like, who knew he was going to be president and like whatever. Right. And then towards the end when he got possessive, I'm like, you're hot garbage. Get out of here and let her live.
He was trying to make her jealous?
Yeah, no. So he's now, but I was on a flight with Tony Goldwyn, and I like didn't talk to him, but I was on JetBlue, and they give out like the milk bar cookies at the end if you're like in Mint, and he like didn't take his cookie, so I was like, can I have his cookie? So I took it. I was like, I know he's watching for the carbs, but I'm not, so I took it.
Maybe not less trash now.
Yeah.
For that. The Bachelor.
Oh God, it is okay. He's like Ari is definitely, but it's like fun trash. Like, it's good to watch people willingly do ignorant stuff for my entertainment. So I'm like into it, but it is a hot mess. But I'm like, okay, fine.
Look at these girls.
I know.
And finally, Mitch McConnell.
Yeah, he's evil trash. Just look at him. He's so just like mean-spirited. No, he's the worst.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, bye, Mitch.
Yeah.
Thanks for playing.
Yeah.
All right. We're gonna go back to your book now.
Yes.
A lot of what you talk about. Yeah, hey, your book.
Buy it.
What you talk about in your book, towards the end, you'll get there, guys. You're gonna get this book later. Is the struggle to love and accept yourself, which is like a massive struggle for pretty much every young woman, maybe even some old ladies, through life. Now that you're that happier, more confident Phoebe, the new Phoebe, can you help some of us old self-doubting Phoebes in the world with a little pep talk, what would you tell us?
Yeah, I think I would say, like every time I do a show, I'm always nervous. Like before I went and did Colbert this week, I was like, I don't want to do this. I want to be terrible. And so my biggest thing has been like making fear and self-doubt your friend.
Yeah.
And being like, oh, we're gonna work together, as opposed to this is like my enemy, because it's like keeping you focused, it's keeping you energized and making you sort of like think and make sure you're doing the right things for yourself. So I would say, don't be afraid of the fear. Just be like, hey boo, let's like have coffee and like work it out. And then also, I think it's like, especially when it came to dating for me, like I watch every single romantic comedy and I was like, my whole life is to like find my dream guy who's gonna think I'm perfect and then I'll think I'm perfect. And I sort of had to realize I need to love myself independently of whatever a man thinks.
Totally.
And that's like a hard thing because we're conditioned to be like, your self-worth is tied into being a partner. So I had to get to a place where I was like, am I not gonna like myself because I'm single right now? Hell no, I'm gonna like myself regardless. So that was a huge thing. And then finally, I think just like allowing yourself to grow. Like I know for myself, I'll be like, well, this is the way I've always done things, so that's it. I'm not good at this because I wasn't when I was 18. And it's like, well, surprise yourself. Like maybe learn some new skills or maybe just like believe in yourself a little bit more and you can surprise yourself and it'll be great.
Ah, that's great. Let's see, we're gonna wrap it up here. You're a stand-up comedian, actor, author, comedy writer, podcaster. What's left, girl? What's the next entertainment challenge you're gonna take on?
I think, so there are a few things. I'm always thinking ahead. So I definitely want to have my own imprint at a publishing house and just sort of be in the process of like publishing other like women, people of color, queer people.
Love it.
And I want to like have like my people of color version of like Soho House.
What?
Because I think that'd be great. Soho House is like cool, but and I don't, is this like okay to say, but sometimes I'm not a member there, but like I have friends who are, so I'll go there sometimes. And then white people will think that I'm like working there. And they'll be like, can you seat me? And so I'm like, okay, I need to have like black people running this shit. So I'm like not asked if I like, and I curse, is that okay?
Absolutely, girl, do it.
That was so bad, I'm so sorry. Oh, it's cool, okay.
You're cool.
Sorry. Well, don't buy my book. Okay, buy it.
Love it.
Okay, thank you.
You're gonna do that Soho House.
I hope so. I need investors.
Just let me in, have a drink.
Yes, yeah. LeBron James helped fund this. I don't have any
Schools
money.
and POC.
Yeah, right?
All right, well, guess what? Phoebe brought a little something for y'all here in the audience. You're all gonna get a copy of her book tonight. Everything's trash, but it's okay.
I already got my copy. I got it. No, really, thank you so much for being here. Thank you, Annette. And an extra special thanks to the Build Studios for hosting us this week. Don't forget, if you took photos of Phoebe or anybody else and you want to post it on social, just use the hashtag #CreateGood. And if you're at home, thank you so much for tuning in. We hope you guys are going to come back tomorrow for Create Good Wellness Night. We're going to be chatting with tidying guru Marie Kondo, natural food chef Daphne Oz, yoga instructor Hilaria Baldwin, and speaking of yoga, we'll have a body positive yoga instructor named Trap Bay Yoga teaching us some moves. So have a great night, everyone. Thanks so much for coming. Woo! Thank you. That was so